overview, I went to One Life last year in Sacramento. Carolyn is my dear friend, and said, you have to go to this conference. It'll change your life. And I was very skeptical. But I took the chance, and thank God that I did. I went into it not really knowing what could change in my life, but I knew that I was feeling stuck. I worked full-time as a trainer at the YMCA and had done that for about 5 years. Prior to that, I had left a job in corporate America. And so I went feeling very unsettled with my career, but it was comfortable. It was safe. I knew that I would always have clients coming to me, although the money was definitely not at the potential that I knew I could make. And I also felt like, aside from the money, I was just limited in what I could provide because I was working under, somebody else's rules. And so I essentially left One Life with the decision that I was going to open up my own business. And I honestly did not go to this conference with that thought in my mind. Maybe it was somewhere in the back of my mind, like way far back. But it really wasn't there until somebody sort of called me out on my bullshit, I guess, when I said, well, I can't open my own studio. And he said, why not? And that's what I was left to sit with. And I pretty much started taking action on the way home. And I literally got home at 3:00 on a Monday afternoon and said to my husband, we're opening up our own studio. And he's like, I know we are, let's go. And we drove around, we called, we tried to find space. And by the end of the week, this was like October 24th, I think. And by October 31st on Halloween, we found space and signed a lease. I just celebrated 1 year on my birthday, this past December 2nd. And I left the Y. And I was going to hold on to the Y for as long as I could in case this whole having my own studio deal didn't work out for me. But I left the Y in March because I got so busy at the studio, I couldn't even handle it. So, yeah, it's changed my life. And I got so many big plans for 2019. I got into some trauma-based yoga training earlier this year, helping those that suffer with PTSD, trauma, addictions, depression, anxiety. And I got some meetings with some veterans groups here. And I'm just super excited about what I can give to my community, what I can give beyond my community. And it's just turned into more than just I'm a personal trainer. It's really turned into more than that. So, and I really have One Life to thank for, putting that seed and planting it and making it happen for me. So.
That's beautiful. What a wonderful share, Cheryl. Thank you so much. And yeah, those are the kind of stories that are role models for other people doing this. And now what we need is to see more young people, getting in this blessing. And if you think about it, go back to when you were young. I don't know about you. I had a few things figured out. I knew how to talk. I was never shy, but I was just candidly a total screw up and just didn't have the diodes connecting and stuff. And that's one of the things we want to do with the Dare to Dream is to help people find themselves faster. And every time one of us does it and becomes a light for those around, it really helps. So.
I really like the way that Tim puts it, as in you have to know yourself first to know where you're going to go. Because once you know yourself, it's so much easier to decide where to go, and then all that inner conflict and turmoil kind of settles. But I would just, say that, 3 years ago, I had no idea who I was, and I had no idea where I was going. But going through and getting to know myself, my core values, and how to act in alignment with them has brought so much vision that I couldn't even imagine for myself 3 years ago. So I really like the part of getting to know who I am first before we envision where we're going is super important, I think.
Back to the nature, where do I fit? So when we can get people at any age, and think of some of you on this call in a environment, maybe it's your work environment, maybe it's your home environment, where things just don't fit right, you know? So you got to be thinking of, who am I? What's my why? Where am I going with all of this? You know, where do I want, what's my sprint plan? What's my marathon plan? So if you know, look at it for Thomas and Tatiana. They're 27, and then at 40, they want to be, retired, doing all of this stuff. It's kind of like, that's the end game, if you will. And what do I need to do to make it happen? And by the way, this is what that road looks like. It's a way up and down. If you show me somebody that goes like that, yeah, right. So that's the first piece, is the visioneering, and it changes over time. When you first start out, you don't have anything to lose, so hopefully you're a lot more risk adverse. And as you get down the road, you're a lot more conservative. When you're in a maybe a relationship that's not the best, but you're such wonderful partners, and you're 65 years old, you should probably stick it out. It just doesn't make sense to go backwards at that point and go get the gold chains, the red Corvette. Where are you now? And I don't know if you know my story. I was a part-time grocery clerk painting addresses on people's curbs at 25 years old, because I couldn't, I wasn't getting enough hours to buy diapers for my two small kids, who were 3 and 1 at the time. And I got into real estate, and I started making really good money, because I'm not shy, and I gave a shit. So my income went up, and my expenses stayed the same, because I still lived like I was a grocery clerk. And that's the increase your offense and know what's going on. And by the way, this isn't living like a miser and not enjoying life and never going on vacations and not spoiling and rewarding yourself. That's not what I'm talking about. But as my income went from, I was making 30 grand and let's say spending 10, I bet I went, from making 300 grand and spending 70. And I can't tell you how many people I've met that were making, 30, got up to 300, and we're spending $299.99 with the monthly expenses and 2 cars in the garage and the boat and the RV. Here's the deal: let your buddy buy the boat. You always generously buy the gas, buy the beer. You're the one they want to go, because you're generous. You don't have the repair bills, the insurance bills. Think about this stuff, you guys. Just there's a way to work all of this where you're still living an amazing life, but you're thinking about someday. See that gray there? When you get in your 50s and 60s, you're going to be freaking tired, and you're not going to want to work hard. And when a lot of you are younger now, this is the time to bust your butt, do the shoulds, so you can get the goods. So that's that, Hector.
Dreaming, planning, we're gonna live it now.